Doctor, obviously we're in a room now for medical students now, and maybe both of you can share a little bit on this. What would be your advice in how, if this is something that we'd be interested and passionate to do with our careers, what would be your advice in terms of preparing for it, even in medical school?
I think it's important, after listening to what Brother Amin has to say, you start like him. I think the preparation is a preparation of heart. You see, the moment you want to help, there's always a way to help. You know, I remember going to the Pakistan earthquake, Kashmir, and then, you know, of course the hospitals are all gone. The earthquake swallowed everything up. And we're in a place called and we are operating in tents and so on. There's not much operating to do because, you know, it's all very basic. And but what I did, apart from doing some fracture clinics and so on, was to go to the mountain and vaccinate children. That was the best, you know. The kids were great. Vaccinate the kids, you know, and doing primary health care. And Hasu Patel, my colleague, was distributing flour. That's where you learn to be a human being again and forget that you're a specialist. Okay? So if you say, right, I want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon so that I can go and help people around the world, it will take you how many years to be a cardiothoracic surgeon? Maybe about 10 years post-qualification, maybe even more. Maybe halfway you're so fed up you don't do it. Yeah? So really help whatever you can do. Raise money, raise consciousness, get yourself educated, make sure you know the facts. And if your heart's in the right place, God will open the door for you to do good. You see, one of my prayers now is that, can you fill my hands with good deeds, which can only come from you. So I think if you really want to do it, just pray every morning like that. Yeah.
So I don't have the experience that Dr. Swee is.
3 times your age.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Well, the only thing I would say is I always tell my fellow colleagues and students that if you feel that you're just doing your own thing now as a student, when you can like afford to come in late and sleep in the mornings and miss lectures and what have you, and when you've got that free time as a student, still you find it very difficult to get involved in volunteering or get involved in raising money or whatever you can within your own capacity, then when you start becoming a foundation doctor, when you become a reg and you're the guy who's running everything in the medical department, if you're a medical reg or a surgical reg, and then you become a consultant, then definitely by the time you reach that stage, you're going to be so busy with your work, your family, your kids, your this, your mortgage, etc., and you haven't cultivated yourself from a young age, then you definitely, when you reach that stage, you definitely won't care. And I'm going to be as straightforward as that, because if you don't care now, what is it to say that 10 years down the line, when you've got so many responsibilities, you're going to suddenly have this sudden change, you're going to wake up in the morning and think, today I'm going to go to Palestine. It's not going to happen. So you need to cultivate that within yourselves. So that's the first thing I would say. Second thing is, when you one thing when you volunteer as a student, when you go there, you find that medically, unless you've one thing I've done is I've done a lot of suturing. I've practiced a lot here in this country. I've tried to make use of my exposure to clinical medicine when I'm at the hospital and go to courses and stuff like that, with view to trying to do whatever I can when I do go to these places. However, you do find that as a student, you don't clinically you can't really do much. You need to have a good level of specialist knowledge if you want to take part in the operating theatre, and perhaps you can close up and things like that. So I'd say try to, if you're into surgery, then try to practice those things. But you still can be useful, not necessarily in a clinical sense, but you can definitely be useful in organising things, in organising the logistics. A lot of trauma work is built upon just logistical issues. You can have the best surgeon sitting at an operating theatre, but if you don't have the correct equipment, if you don't have the correct infrastructure in place, if you don't have the correct medicine and anesthesia, then you won't be able to do anything. And as a medical student, if if you're someone who's got good organizational skills, you can go there and you can organize all of that so that surgery and a clinic can function. And you as a student, if you prepare yourself adequately, you can go there and make a big difference. You don't necessarily have to be the guy right at the back standing there twiddling his fingers and really thinking, oh, what am I doing here? So, first of all, get involved.